These accidents too, spontaneous accident on the road that you have to deviate. One time there was a helicopter crash in the middle of the road and I had to deviate. There was lights everywhere and the guy was signaling to get off the road. And my character was tired, so he fell asleep and the sim went dark and I freaking rammed the truck.
What?
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. It went dark and I was like, oh shit. And I lost control of the truck and the game came on and I was in the wall. So I had to call to get the truck
Call
towed.
AAA.
Yeah. And get her fixed. Hello and welcome to the Chicane Podcast, where we discuss all things in the sim racing world. I'm your host, Jason Rivera, and I'm joined here by Mr. Eric Kelly and Mr. Jeff Smart. How's everybody doing today?
Doing good, man.
Team, ready to get into it? Doing well over here?
Man, it's been a crazy month, crazy start of the year. We're just wrapping up January, and there's been a lot of things. Yeah. There's been a lot of things. Nothing has slowed down whatsoever in the sim racing world. Things keep popping up. But before I get into my portion of announcements, I'm going to pass this on to Eric to check on him on his week. What's up, Eric? What's going on with you, brother?
Nothing much, man. Didn't have much time to race this week, sadly. Been struggling with internet issues and all kind of stuff. Spectrum. I hope y'all get what's coming to y'all, man. This has been a rough week. But outside of that, no real complaints, no snowstorms, no nothing like that. So
good. Good.
Yeah, so that's been about it. I did want to just throw this out there though. I don't have much info on it, but if you ever want to play Forza and you didn't want to buy a PC or an Xbox, it is coming to PS5 this spring.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This spring, like April-ish?
When they say spring, to me, I think about, I guess March, April, May, technically somewhere in there. So, but they haven't dropped a date. But Forza 5 is coming. It's been rumored for a while, but apparently it's been.
This is Horizon, right?
Forza, whatever. Forza 5, is that Horizon?
I think that's Horizon. That's the one in Mexico. It's a good game. Okay. It's not really a sim. I mean, but it's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. To me, it's interesting because PlayStation always has the crew game, which always try to, in my mind, tried to fill that void, that Forza Horizon void for us,
right?
And never quite
the sandbox racing.
Yeah, and kind of less simulation, more kind of fun, kind of wild racing, not track racing, essentially.
Well, that's good news. That's good.
More racing. I like it.
So you're gonna pick it up then when it comes out?
Definitely.
Okay.
I'll definitely support it. Yeah.
We'll need a full report.
Yeah.
Because you're sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll handle it though, just fine.
Yeah.
All right, man. So what about you, Jeff? What you got for us, man?
Yeah, I had a couple races, but I'm gonna get into it. My races, a little bit different, more non-traditional for me races, but I'll get into that a little later. On it's kind of a related note to what Eric was saying. I saw for anybody that is wanted to get F124 that hasn't got it yet, it did go on sale today for like $13.
All right.
Is it worth it at $13? We don't need to get into it. Just letting everybody know.
I mean, that's kind of
so we've done this for a long time about it.
I don't even think it was worth $13, man. Just no mouse support.
Y'all have ruined me, man. Y'all have ruined me. So I told you guys about my coworker who wanted to get into sim racing. I let him borrow my Logitech G920 wheel or whatever. And I talked to him today about it, and he's like, "Oh, I love it." Like he's like really a novice. He was like, "I just found out that you need to use both feet when you're driving."
Oh wow!
And so he's feeling that. So he's somewhere. He's super green, but he's having fun, which is the most important thing. And he's driving exclusively F124. And I had to restrain myself. I had to control my face because I didn't want to kind of shit on any fun that he was having with it. If you having fun, have fun with it. But
I used to play the F1 games. I mean, the pretend, right? The pretend
Yeah.
to be in a race and to, you watch the actual F1 and then you go
Yeah.
and you jump in your rig and you play the actual race. I think Jeff
Yep.
and I were doing that for a minute and
Yeah,
then
I
we
was
and we
doing
kind of
that.
fell off.
They did have like a kind of a cool thing that like whatever that race of the week was, you could get in there and race that week with real people. It was cool. And
That's a
I guess
cool
until it
concept.
wasn't, it's a cool concept, absolutely. But I
Yeah.
think iRacing does it if they have the track. There's like 2 or 3 races on Saturday night in the W13 that you can
Mm,
do.
and and to close this right here, I mean,
mm,
I think iRacing needs to give a little more love to the Formula side. We haven't seen a Formula car in a while. We've seen the Super Formula and the lights and all that, but I think we need a modern F1 car so people can jump in. The last car we had was the Mercedes W13, which is way generations
mm.
behind. We already have a new generation. And next year, we're about to step into another F1 generation where the cars are totally different. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll get some more love
Yeah.
because I know Jeff, that's Jeff's thing is the
Yeah,
F1
there's
stuff.
no car that has DRS and push to pass. That kinda sucks.
Or ERS
Wow.
or
Yeah,
yeah.
or ERS. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah, it would be nice. And like
Mm.
you can't even put your own paint on the Mercedes car. Yeah, let's
Oh,
go.
you can't. I didn't know that.
No, they won't
Oh,
let
snap.
it was part of the agreement with Mercedes letting them use
Of
the
course it was.
W13.
Mm.
Who are we talking
Yeah.
about here?
That's something Ferrari
Yeah.
would do.
Yeah, Ferrari too.
So,
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
guess
yeah,
beggars
so
can't
my
be
portion.
choosers, man.
What's up, Eric?
I
What you
was saying,
got?
I guess beggars can't be choosers at this point.
uh, true
Nah, at
statement.
least we have a one to one, almost a one to one replica, which is kind of there's not a game out there that there's not a sim or game or anything like it. Having a car
Yeah.
that's licensed by Mercedes, that was approved by Mercedes, and probably tested by Mercedes. So I
Yeah.
mean, for $10, that's an easy buy, in my book.
That's the
It
closest we
adds
get.
up.
Oh, it does. It adds up real quick. So
All right,
for
what you
my
got, buddy?
yeah, man. So really excited. I don't know if you could tell. I'm kind of jumping in the seat here, kind of giddy up. So Danny Newman Racing again. The man has been working in the studio, cooking up all kinds of stuff. Was talking to him today, and he just released his 5.1 version, which I'll go over the notes real quick. Um, we have one-to-one LEDs for Automobilista 2. So
Jeez.
now
Mm.
you go in, you update your profiles for whatever wheel or DDU that you're using, and you could put those on. He's added a 090 RPM profile to support many devices, right?
Mm.
Provided an option to eliminate the RPM red line on the final gear. So when you're on the final gear, instead of when you're maxed out, instead of the red line just going like that, you could just have it not do that. If I don't care about that, I usually leave it flashing. I like to know that my engine's about to blow up, and I need to stop, bro. I need to stop soon. So now the generic RPM now has a configurable starting percent, so you can choose how early or late your RPMs take effect. So you have more control of your profiles. Native True Dark mode is now optional. That means you can disable
Mm.
TDM activating with headlight stages. So in sims that don't support it, like ACC, or excuse me, in supported sims like ACC or AMS2. And Assetto Corsa Competizione had a host of performance optimizations and improvements. These improvements include adding the specific gaps in profiles where accurately appropriate, and adding to the DNR RPM database, ensuring all peripherals devices. Okay, so massive update for ACC racers out there. And a low fuel warning is now optional during a practice session. So if you're practicing, usually the rig will just turn red when your
Mm.
fuel is low. You don't have to have that in a practice session. And you could
Mm,
just have it activate, at a quali, or you can have it activate in a race. So that's kind of cool. 5.1 is out today. 5.2, there's a very special thing coming to rally sim racers out there. and I want to share a preview of his new dashboard. First time DNR is coming out with a dashboard, and I'm honestly impressed because honestly, for the support that you're getting and the price that you're paying, now you have more things that you can use with his product, with his subscription. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna share out the my Discord here because and share out a preview, and you can see the dashboard and testing, very very early stages, and it's a it's a new rally dashboard specifically to those using racing and rally race that we don't have. There's
Mhm.
currently not a dashboard like that. We have the lovely dashboard, yes, that captures telemetry and everything else, but a specific dashboard related and dedicated to rally, it doesn't exist. And I can give kudos, I can give the honor and pleasure of sharing out something that's high end, high quality. We do have dashboards out there, but something that is coming from a high end studio such as DNR, I'm proud to present on the show here that we have something for you. And it's kind of cool because the rally drivers are kind of, there's sim racing, and then there's the niche in the niche, right, which is rally. And I'm a big rally fan, you guys know. And another project that has me excited um, is this invisible dashboard that he has here. And it's like, got a DDU that's blocking your screen, like, a DDU right in front of your screen. You can have X-ray vision and see the menus behind it. So it's like a tool. Like, let's say you're in the menus, right? This has
Mhm.
happened to me before when I'm playing EAWRC and there's menus like all the way across the bottom. You can't move them, you can't resize them. You would have to just reach around and look. The man is fixing the problem for you, and he's already got instructions on how to install it already. So it's already a made product. Again, the first one out there to do it. It's called the DNR Invisible Dash and ready for release immediately. So
That's crazy.
I will, I have to give it up to him.
Dude,
Um,
killing it. Killing
killing
it.
it. Just
I'm
last
telling you.
month, just last month, he released 5.0, revamped every single car in iRacing. There's a lot of cars in iRacing, bro. Then he
Yeah.
adds AMS2. Now he adds two more dashboards for one subscription, one price. You don't have to go and seek and find other places. And I'm pretty sure when we see the final product, there's gonna have that special DNR touch to it because I know how meticulous he is. And
Yeah.
UI design, I mean, look at his plugin. That should say everything right there.
Clean.
It's clean.
I'm telling you.
He's a good dude for a
Yeah,
McLaren
DNR.
fan.
Yeah, DNR. Daniel's like, bro, daily I speak to this man. There's a challenge out there for all you chicane podcasts. I'm gonna add this challenge. He wants me to try a British tradition, which is eating toast with butter and adding Heinz beans on it.
Oh yeah, beans on toast. I saw
Oh
that.
yeah.
Bro, I haven't done it yet. And I'm getting harassed messages every day. Have
It's
you done
good.
it? Oh, you've tried it.
Yeah, my old man did it when I was a kid. We just put it on regular bread though. We didn't
Oh, he's
toast
gonna
it.
love this. Daniel, you hear that? We got a
Yeah,
supporter.
so
I'm Puerto Rican.
because
Listen, there's a
he was
whole
getting beat
different
up.
meaning of beans with us. You
I
know.
meant stick to your bones food though.
Yeah. So what's the? I guess real quick, is it just like what beans do you put on
Heinz.
toast? Is it like baked
So
beans?
the
Like the
pork
stuff
and
you eat
beans,
with
I think it's one of the
yeah, the
one
kind you eat with a
with the
hamburger, right?
sauce.
Or a hot dog.
Yeah,
Like the
Yeah.
baked beans, the kind of
Yeah,
soup?
baked beans.
baked beans. And
Okay.
check
All right.
this. He's doing a raffle. I don't know if it's over yet, but check
Mhm.
his Discord. If you send him a video or picture of you eating toast with the beans on, he's
Mhm.
gonna do a raffle to give you a year membership of DNR at the highest level, I think.
Hey,
So
that's
come on
genius.
now. It's time
That's
to eat some
genius.
beans and toast. You know
Hey,
what I'm
Yeah, I'm telling
I'll, I'll be right back.
you.
saying?
Hey, I ain't even got to move. I just need to get my beans and toast
Yeah.
right here at the camera. I'm ready.
And I want to say this, guys. This, the man's been hard at work, but he finds way to communicate with his community. Like, that's a fun
Yeah.
way to stay engaged. And I
He's just
told
a
him,
good dude, right? You
yes,
know, which is probably more
Yeah.
important than all the other stuff. That he's just,
he
good human.
loves what he does. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, you can
He's
tell.
in love with the studio and what he got to do, and he's got so many ideas in his head. And I'm like, Daniel, just
Go to
release them,
sleep.
bro. Just
Go to sleep.
and go to sleep too. Make
And get
sure you
some
get some rest,
rest.
Danny. But hey, DNR, if you want to come on the show again, let me know. We can have you on, and you can walk us through on what's new. Up to you, brother. But anyways, main discussion time, and as promised, and it's a very sensitive topic for me, man, because American Truck Simulator. At one point in my life, it was more important than water, man. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say I remember this time. I remember this.
American Truck Simulator.
I remember, dude, when I first met you and you sent me a video of, I was like, "Who is this guy?"
Yeah, that was the
I was like,
first
"He's got
thing.
the wooden wheel and
The
Yes,
cap,
yes, yeah, yeah."
sensor on it.
you got the
He's got
spinner,
his
bro.
'80s music playing. I don't
Yep.
mean to steal your thunder here, buddy. You
No,
dig
I
into
want to
it.
hear. I love hearing this because
Slinging gears,
I'm
yeah,
telling you,
man,
man. The shifter,
floating gear, no
everything.
floating gears.
clutch, and you do that finesse push, out to. Oh yeah, I be slamming that Jake, bro. Especially
Yeah.
when it's like
Yeah.
5 in the morning and there's houses in the neighborhood. I be blah 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 the whole way down, playing pretend. But let me just
That's
get
funny.
let me just cover what it is, right? So first off, doesn't matter which one you choose. You want to choose European Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator. They share the same engine. They share the same development team, and updates come out for both of them. So if one thing gets added to American Truck Sim, they add it to ETS. So I mean, the game goes on sale for like 10, $12. You can get both of them for the same price as the F124 game. And the mouse works in Truck Sim.
When did it come out?
I'm just saying, it came out in 2013-ish,
Yeah,
around
enough
there.
said. Enough said.
I mean, come on. So
EA. It's not, it came out from like a garage.
I would love to talk to
computer.
EA's development team. I just
Oh man.
a one-liner, mouse support, period. Thank you.
That's
So
wild.
the presentation, right? I'm going to go over ATS because ATS, American Truck Sim, is the latest and greatest. It is the bread and butter. It has the loud ass trucks, the big trucks, the big rigs. That's what Americans love. We love that.
Yes,
Those big
sir.
ass cat engines and making all this damn noise because that's what we love to do. That's kind of culture here. So
The
Oh yeah.
V8.
yeah.
There you go.
So it includes like various states, and their mission is to release 2 states every year. And the goal here is to create a scale of 1 of 20 of the United States of America. And I'm telling you, they're trying to make a 1-to-1 US map that's being added to you every single year, two a year. I think we had Iowa this year and Ohio or something like that. We got
Wow.
right now we got 16 states. Like this, the scale is 120. Like that's pretty damn.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's
The
cool.
the game currently has 228 cities, including 34 in the base game and 194 added through DLC. Each city is part of a state, right? Each city.
Mm.
So DLC adds, they always add 2 every year. And Arkansas too just came out. That one. I haven't driven through Arkansas yet. So the
That's cool.
Dude,
yeah, man.
Eric,
Yeah.
there's nights that I get texts. This is back a little bit a little while ago, and I'm like, "Hey man, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing, man. I'm just driving from Tulsa to Phoenix, running a load to Tulsa to Phoenix."
Yeah,
That sound
man.
fun, man.
I'm like, "What?" He's just sitting there, just listening to music, checking his phone. I'm like, "This
It's got to
kid."
be 80s music, bro. I have a playlist. Maybe I'll share it. Let me know if you guys want it. It's called Country Ass Music, and it's on Spotify. And it's nothing but 80s jam. I got the Kenny Rogers in there. I got all the American stuff in there. I don't know what came over me. I was like, this just doesn't feel right with some hip hop. I need some country music, I need something that's gonna relax me, basically.
Oh yeah.
And the rig too, when I turned I have it programmed when I turn the switch on in the truck, the radio comes on and the AC, the vents on the rig start blowing.
Dude.
Hey man, you living a dream, man. I'm
I'm
saying.
telling you, it's a very realistic experience. The suspension has been updated. The tire model, there's a tire model in ATS, and you
So it's a
feel the force.
sim.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is a sim. It is
Jason,
definitely. Yeah, go ahead.
how many miles? I know the answer to this, but I want to put this out there for everyone. How many miles in American Truck Simulator have you driven?
So I got
I-
700,000 miles around 700,000 on my Peterbilt 389, and I and about a total of about 700 hours played total on my Steam account alone. Now
Let that sink in.
that
700 hours isn't absurd.
bro,
It's not
that's a lot
absurd.
of that's a lot of ass time in the seat.
Yeah,
Let me tell you that.
that's a good
Bro,
amount
you're
of
just
time,
going down a
but
highway. It's not like you're
yeah,
playing Call of Duty and you're on point all the time.
Yeah,
yeah, you chilling. That's why I
but
say I
that's
got a
Chilling.
just
lot.
Eric.
You
That's
know.
American Truck Sim. I still got Euro Truck
Uh,
Sim too. That's got another
okay.
400, 500 miles.
I tried to give you an out, man.
you, you try to. I'm
That's
telling you, man. I'm pretty sure those are rookie numbers. Like the Wolf of Wall Street. That's rookie numbers right there. But according to
yeah.
other truck simmers, that have been doing this for a long time.
Oh
And
yeah.
so the game has 40 models that comes with it, right? Stock, and it's got all the popular brands: Kenworth, Peterbilt, Freightliner. They have Volvo. They have the Euro side. They have damn it, I forgot the names of those. They got Mercedes there too. They got Mercedes trucks, and those are the
Hmm.
small, compact ones. And those are tricky, man, because they can tip. They're easily upset on the suspension.
Hmm.
Anyway, um, I covered the DLC, immersion and sound in the game. So this is the thing. So there's sound in the game. The game has detailed sound engine. It replaces engine noise, air brakes, weather, windows. But there's a step further. There's a guy called Z Mods, and I'm going to share my screen. And this right here, highly recommended for anyone that's getting into this, even if it's your first go. And this is their website. They started in 2021, which coincides with when I started. Around that time, I started trucking, and it's been dedicated to recording and producing top quality audio for Euro Truck Sim 2 and American Truck Sim. Our sound packs are meticulously crafted and enthusiastic.
Jeez.
So the guy, to give you context, you see this right here? He sticks a microphone inside of a real truck with some $1,000 equipment, records that, and creates a sound, engine sounds that are 1-to-1. That's how come that Jake that you hear in Jeff. That's how come it sounds so freaking good. It's because of this. So
Wow.
look, he's using software,
Jeez.
dude. The guy is not playing around. So let's take a look at um his mods here. So you can get the horn. You can get some air fresheners for your truck, and they're free. So you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Let's say you wanted a Cat 340, right? For example, look at this realistic FOV mod. That's free, $5.99, and that includes all the updates. Look at this: precision crafted engine sounds, full RPM spectrum. It includes the 310, the 350, the 400, 400, and so on. 500 HP engines,
Man,
all crafted by Dave Steele with realistic torque curves. So compatibility,
that's
bro.
crazy.
And then he made a thing. He's created this thing called ZAF, and I'm gonna go over what that is real quick. And again, I don't know Zmods. We're not sponsored by him. He did not ask me to cover this. I own the entire store. Just don't judge me. But the entire store I have. Look, master reverb. So you get the reverb in the tunnels, you know what I'm saying? Um,
Jeez.
so he created this thing called Zmod's Audio Framework plugin. And what this thing does, the outside magic, air brake application sound, park and brake application release, transmission range. This thing has, when you go to a gas station in Truck Sim and you put it in park, it has the seatbelt unclick the door, and you can hear the guy pick up the thing and the gas going ding ding. You know when you're gassing up. So listen, electrical self test ignition, engine fan that automatically turns on when the engine becomes too hot. With it, bro.
Wow.
So I don't wanna kill you guys to death here, but this is free, $0.
Wow. Dude,
That's
people are
crazy.
awesome.
Yeah.
Look at this. I'm telling you, bro. And so I can spend the entire chicane podcast hour ish on this. But I have 174 mods installed. Okay? Let that sink in. That's 40 gigs
Bro.
worth of content. That's 10 times bigger than the game is. The game is only like 8 gigs.
That's
So
hilarious.
the game has, I'll go over mods in a second. Wrapping up, radio stations. So it connects to real world radio stations. And they
Stop
have
it.
dedicated European radio stations and American stations that have commercials in like they bro, I'm telling you, bro, it's hard to explain. When you ask me truck sim, it's so deep. Like the
So
modding community is ridiculous. I have a truck that is dear to my heart. It costs $90.
Dang.
It costs $90.
look, I'm
I
not
don't even
even
know what to
upset right
say.
now.
I don't even
But the man has made over 700 and different pieces for you to mod this truck. So that truck becomes 100 trucks. You know what I'm trying to say? That you can make and
Yeah.
modify. So the way the game runs, I'll give you a quick synopsis. You start driving. You broke as shit. You ain't got no money. So you got to borrow some broke man's truck. You know, make sure you don't crash it because you got to pay the damages. Um, and you drive the truck and you do a few jobs, and then you take out a loan with the bank. And the bank charge you some stupid interest rate. So you got to make sure that you don't spend all your money upgrading the truck and go behind. Because I've been behind on my bills in the game, and it messed me up. It put me in some serious debt in the game, and it took me a long time to get out of that debt. So anyway, I took out $100,000 loan. I bought my first truck. It was a Kenworth, the W something. I forget the name. Is a Kenworth W. Let's call it that. And W900, boom, just came in. And I started doing some jobs, right? And every time you do a job, you level up and you get to upgrade your skills and your licenses. So I got the hazmat license so I can transport hazmat. And then I got my heavy cargo. I upgraded the engine and the transmission and the chassis so that way she could take the weight. And we drove down to Mexico from California straight down into Mexico. I didn't pass the inspection because I was too heavy. I kept rolling. The thing was warning me to stop because they wanted to give me a fine. I just rolled through. I passed the border doing 80 miles an hour with a freaking 79,000 load that's straight up illegal. And I went through, crossed the border. They delivered the Mexicans. They love me. They gave me a hug. It was like, yo, man, you got anyway. So I discovered Mexico, started doing some jobs in Mexico, and I bought a garage in Mexico, and I started up my own company.
This is wild.
Yeah,
that's
I
crazy.
We're
started
talking
up
about
a sim,
sim here.
a sim, video game, whatever you want to call it.
Wild.
And then my first worker, she was a dirtbag. She was always late for work. I would get emails. Yeah, I'm not even
That
kidding,
sounds
bro.
like a soap opera.
Bro. And I had to hire her because she was the cheapest one. It was like $4 an hour or some shit, whatever it costs in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? And so from there, I fired her ass, and then I hired some other people. I gave them my trucks. I started buying trailers, and then I became like a million. I got like 80 million, bro. I could buy any truck, and hook it up and not worry about money no more. They're always on the road making money and depositing it into the account. So, you know, that's kind of the game. The game is about driving. It's not about rushing to get the truck. It's about hooking up the truck, trying out different routes that are challenging, figuring out what's the best truck, what's the best engine, what's the best transmission to get through this particular route. And Mexico's a mod, so it's not included in the game, but you can find it. Trust me, you can find all
Mhm.
kinds of mods. Like it, if we go into mods, bro, we're gonna lose our time here. Promise you.
Jason,
But
I remember watching you like you pulled in, or I can't remember if you're pulling up, pulling out, where you had to like back up and you're like using your mirrors and like
yeah,
you're like making sure you don't hit nothing. I'm like, this is
so
crazy.
I upgraded that truck, Jeff. So you know what I did? So instead of looking at the mirrors and looking back and stuff, when I first started sim racing, I had a single monitor and I used something called the track IR I used to put it on my truck hat. And
Mhm.
of course, I got my truck hat right here, which is
I
from the
told you.
movie Over the Top. You know what I'm saying?
I told
So,
you he
you
had the
know,
hat.
and then I got my GoPro so you can see. And I had a sensor on the top of on the lid of the hat. And whenever I would look left, the whole camera would shift left with my movement, with the movement of my head, because I didn't have a triple screen. I had a single screen, and that was kind of what I was limited to that. So, man, I know I had to get to over the top hat. I just had to do it. So,
Hey
um,
man, I'm jealous, man.
not only
That
this,
sounds fun.
there is a shit ton. Excuse my French. I do speak French.
Mm,
Of Discord communities that do convoys. And one time we did 120 truck convoy in Colombia. And we cruised down this big ass stretch. And they had a Santa Maria little thing in the statue, and everybody was on the comms. And I wanted to get the CB radio because you can use CB radios in truck sim, and it does the and the when you let it go,
that's crazy.
bro.
Break
So
109.
yeah, breaking that one. Yeah, man. And then you're on a convoy and everybody's playing music and when we're down a hill, you can hear just a train of freaking Jake breaks. Blah, 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 blah,
La,
the
la, 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 la,
whole
la.
and then you got your hand like this, your
Grab that
hand goes
knob.
stiff after a while, yeah, with that knob.
Yeah.
You flipping up and down and stuff. And I talked about the shifter. So you guys already know. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of support. Um, American Truck Sim, the developers do a live stream almost every week, so they're very
Wow.
active. Multiplayer support. We covered mods, and yeah, the game has not seen an engine update, a major one, since launch. So they're working on
Mm,
adding DX12 because right now it's running on one thread. And what does that mean?
mm.
I'm running a top end machine here and I can barely get 60 FPS. And it's because it's only using one thread on my CPU. It's not using the full power.
Wow. Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. I mean, but honestly, bro, it's a truck. It's a truck game. It's not you don't need anything higher than 60, I don't think. Because you're not speeding. You're
Yeah.
stopping at the lights, you're following traffic, there's cops everywhere. Um, there's always accidents too. Spontaneous accident on the road that you have to deviate. One time there was a helicopter crash in the middle of the road and I had to deviate. There was lights everywhere and the guy was signaling to get off the road and my character was tired, so he fell asleep and the sim went dark and I freaking rammed the truck.
What?
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. It went dark and I was like, "Oh shit." And I lost control of the truck and the game came on and I was in the wall, so I had to
That's
call
hilarious.
to get the truck
Call
towed.
AAA.
Yeah, and get her fixed. And I was waiting for a while, ran out of gas. But
Oh
yeah,
man.
it's a
That's
lot of fun.
wild.
It's
That's
deeper than
like
you think. Yeah.
that's like a life simulator and you just so happen to be driving trucks in it.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, there's a lot
That
going
sounds
on, dude.
fun though, man.
It's a lot of fun. And again, it's not a game that's going to take up all your time. You know what I mean? It's a game that you could play, sporadically. You could play 15 minutes, 20 minutes, get in the truck, drive to the next city.
Have you
That's what
have
I
your
would do.
cocktail?
Get a cocktail, get some Kenny Rogers, get some get some what you call it, some Johnny Cash, and just have some fun. Anyway, but that's American Truck and Euro Truck Sim. Euro Truck, there's more to this. I promise you, but I don't want to go over my time because there's a very special thing. There's a very special track of the week. I know Jeff has some things to cover, but if you have any more questions on anything, even optimized settings, I've helped a few people from the Sim Racing Dens community asking me questions on optimizations for triple screens. Let me know. I've been doing this for quite a while and I have a formula and I have like three backups of that configuration file because I can't lose that thing. There's so many settings in that. Um, but yeah, Truck Sim has a special place in my heart. I'll leave the link for Z Mods here. No affiliates, no connection to him. But if he's watching, which I doubt, I just want to give him a shout out. Thank you for being part of the community and continuing to work on. I know he just, became a father a few years ago and he still goes out with his microphone and all his laptop equipment and recording sounds for a simulator. I mean, $5 and then you get unlimited updates years after. Like that $90 truck,
Wow.
it's all it like once you're in, I get updates and updates and additions and additions. And I was gonna tell Jeff real quick before I stop. You know how I was looking back, I kind of fell off here. I added rear view cameras to the truck. So now they're so
Why am
now
I
I
not
can
surprised?
yeah. Yeah,
That's
man.
dope.
And all the gauges in ATS are real. There is no fluff. Air pressure, everything you have to monitor. There's a lot going on with the truck. It's not just drive and go. There's a finesse too with the clutch and how to float gears and
Mm.
driving an 18 speed. If you haven't done it, I had to watch real life videos on YouTube on how to drive an 18 speed. I had to watch real life training truck videos to learn how to park the truck. And they just came out with the Truckers Academy free, and they teach you how to drive
Wow.
now, which we didn't have, which is unfortunate. But 700,000 miles later, they added it. So, anyways, over to
Man,
Eric. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions. Email us at the Chicane Podcast or drop a comment.
yeah,
Um,
that sounds fun, man. I could do that for. I already know I could do that for hours, for real.
yeah, bro.
I and
It's
a
so
quick
good.
question, a quick question. If you don't have like a truck wheel or maybe a sim setup, like would you how how friendly is it if you don't have like all the equipment?
Oh, it's very
Would you say?
friendly. Very friendly. Because
Okay.
think about it this way: if you have a wheelbase, even if you had a Logitech, you
Mhm.
know, it's it's an immersion thing. It impacts your immersion. The more you add, the more immersion. So, for example, my wheel, I started with the Logitech, remember? And I
Yeah.
started driving SnowRunner, and that's how I got into trucks. And as soon as I got a PC, it was American Truck Sim was the first sim that I bought, and F1, giggity. So when I went
uh,
to a direct drive, I added a truck wheel. Why did I do that? Because of immersion. And I added 1800 degrees of rotation. So that's 900 this way and 900 that way. And what
yeah.
does that do? It simulates what a truck should feel like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then
And
they added
you got your little ball on there.
yeah, because
Yeah.
the truck is stiff when it's stopped because it's
The
got
weight
power
and stuff.
steering, but it'll take some finesse. So sometimes I give it a little gas and it'll lighten up. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's a game that will never be uninstalled. Let's just say that. I
Yeah.
don't care
Yeah. I
what
don't
comes
blame you.
out. If I'm having a bad day, if I want some relax and not sweat to death like I was a few minutes ago in the Porsche race that I just did. Truck sim is there for you. It's a way to drive in your rig and relax and have a good time. And you could do that for 5, 10, 15 hour, 3, 5, 10 hours you could be in that truck. Um and everything is customizable. If you don't like the fact that you have to go to sleep, you could turn that off. If you don't like the fact that you have to refuel the truck, you could turn that off. But if you want the full immersion, they got you. And they got cruise
Yeah.
control too. So you can put the cruise control on and grab your drink and listen
Mm.
to the radio, real life radio with real people speaking, or your own playlist or whatever.
That's
And
cool, man.
yeah. So I got a Spotify little window and I shape it and I put it
Mhm.
inside the dash of the truck. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, enough about ATS and ETS. Um, like I said, I can go forever, Eric. I'm telling you, I can go forever. But
Yeah, man. I'm a pick your brain later. I ain't
maybe
gonna
I'll do a live
keep
stream or
it
something.
going.
Do some trucks
Yeah,
in.
man.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
not care about the copyright strikes and just play the jams I usually play. But I got
Yeah.
18-hour playlist and it's called 80s Trucker FM. If you want to find my playlist, there's a big Peterbilt truck that was a screenshot of my actual truck in ATS, Jason Rivera on Spotify. Go ahead and check it out. It's got all the 80s jams, pop music, you know,
Oh yeah, you
pretty
ready to
cool.
go then, man?
Yeah. So that's about it for trucks in.
That's cool, man. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. So for mine, it's gonna be some more GT7 news. GT7 just had an update, and if possible, show you guys just a little bit of what they did. I kind of predicted this. GT7 has been having regular updates, but I felt like, with the Assetto Corsa Evo coming out, that everybody's kind of going to be feeling that pressure and might be saving some stuff, some changes and updates. And with GT7, they did just that. So I'll start with the bad news first. There are no new tracks, but we did get 4 new cars, which, depending on what you like, one of these might float might get you there. They introduced the Gran Turismo F35A, which is a kind of formula style cars here in the back.
Oh, I like
Uh,
those
uh,
hatchbacks, bro. Those are
yeah,
dope.
they hit us off with the hatchback. So we got the another Honda Civic. This is the EF SI Extra, the 1987.
87.
Yeah, which
What?
is this black joint right here.
Gorgeous.
And we have the Hyundai Ioniq 5 in 2024, which
Nobody care
is,
about those.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a EV,
They keep
which,
those. They keep
and this
those.
one, and the one you guys have all been waiting for, the Toyota CHRS 2018, which is in the back, in the very back for a reason, because that's
Who's
where it's
been
going to
waiting for
stay.
that? I don't.
Nobody.
I've been waiting for that, he says.
Nobody. Nobody's been
Nobody.
waiting on that one. But yeah, so got cars, but here are some of the more interesting and things
Physics,
that will
huh?
apply to everybody. So we got some new physics that they've added.
Okay.
Specifically, they've changed the suspension model. They also have changed some of the steering geometry, specifically addressing traction control and ABS strength. So apparently, there is supposed to be not as intense when you turn it on. I guess to make it to where you can be a little faster and kind of have more granularity with how much of your driving it impacts. They also made some changes to the steering, which I didn't see it in this. Uh,
Well, this is
I didn't see
good,
it in,
man. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see it in here, but specifically what they mentioned about the steering was it they changed the force feedback. So it's supposed to be more detailed force feedback. And I did a little test run earlier in a Huracan, which I run a lot of, and
Oh,
I
so
had
this
to
is out.
turn.
This is out right
Yeah,
now,
this is out right now, and I had to. It took me a minute. I had to turn down the force feedback on everything.
which
Like,
is good, right? Because that
yeah,
means that you got more gain.
I,
Or
it's significantly more. Like in the game. So in the game, I had to turn it down to like 6 in the game, and
damn, bro.
and that
Wait,
was
wait, wait.
after.
It's like what is it? 10 steps in
Yeah,
the game. Okay,
yep. It was 10. I had it on 8 before. I turned it down to 6, but that
and
was
you're on a
after
15 too. You're on a
I'm
15
on
doing.
I'm on a 15, but that was after on my little converter, I'm running 80% max force, and right now I'm at about 75% um max torque.
So,
So,
Eric, I have a quick question for you, and this
mhm,
might be a question for a lot of people that have the same situation that you have. Like you have a
mhm,
PC and you have a PlayStation nearby.
mhm,
What what do you how do you get away with? Because right now you only have a few devices. I mean, you just got your
yeah,
new DDU, which is
mhm,
another piece of gear, right? Which is cool.
yep.
But do you just physically unplug the USBs from the PC and plug them into the PS5, or did you
Oh, I
ever
never
get
thought of
around
that.
getting a switcher or like a USB
S-
switcher? Because I need to try. I need to get in and test this with my gear.
So
Um,
I so right now I'm lucky, right? I only have one USB cable that I move, and that is for my alpha. Um my wheels, my pedals are going into the wheelbase. Um and I'm switching the alpha between the PC and the Sigma Cortex converter. So I'm not even plugging anything in or out of the PS5. The Cortex converter stays plugged into there. Even with the haptics stay plugged into the PC because they're getting telemetry from SimHub, which is
mhm.
getting it
Oh,
from my
wow.
network.
Okay.
Even the DDU, it's getting. I have a lovely dashboard on there. It's getting telemetry from SimHub, so I don't have to plug it into the PS5. It stays plugged into the PC. So literally, I just plug in my Alpha into the Cortex converter, and I'm fired up
Yeah, I
on
was thinking about
PS5.
picking up a PSVR 2 again. Um,
Oh yeah,
Pick it up on sale or something because I already have
yeah.
a
You can find them
PS5
cheap. You can find them
and
pretty cheap. Um, you want to know
and
what's
test
funny?
just for testing because I'm seeing a lot of changes here. Like almost every other month, we're seeing a change with tire model and physics, which
Yeah,
is which is a good thing, right? I mean, we joke around about GT7, but they're
I mean, they're still
trying.
working on it, right?
Yeah, they're trying. Yeah, they're pushing. They're trying to get. They can hear players loud and clear that some things need to be worked on, right? Some things need improving. And on
yeah.
top of adding new content, which is sorry to steal your thunder there, Eric. I
E-
just
Eric, what
Oh
are you
no,
playing for
that's true.
percentages for PC versus console nowadays?
I think
Um,
console's higher, but sim racers are more on PC in my opinion.
No, no, Eric,
well,
just him in general.
so for me, especially with a Assetto Corsa coming out, I've been on PC mostly. I literally until this update came out, I hadn't plugged in my PS5 in weeks.
Attaboy. I love it. But still, but this is cool because let me tell you something, bro. And the VR experience in Gran Turismo is unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't understand how a $500 console can push the graphics like that. When I
I
have
remember that video you sent when you were
a close
was
to a
the
$5,000 machine back here, but nobody wants to bring the damn game to PC. Just bring it
Yeah.
over.
So you want to hear something funny? Um, it's been a while since I raced in VR. I've been just racing flat screen
Ah,
here recently, and it's the biggest reason is I need the data. I need the info. In
yes.
VR, specifically on Gran Turismo, I don't know why they don't allow you to do it, but you just don't get as much information. Um,
Mm,
like for me, like being able to
I
like there's
didn't
a
know
visual
that.
indicator of your brakes. Well, that doesn't show up in VR. Being able to see the gap between people ahead of me and behind. If I
relative,
had
yeah.
a Yeah, if I had a crew chief that was running, then it wouldn't be as big of a deal. I could ask him or get some information from him. But when I'm in VR, it's just me.
Or the new
And
AI software that you're using,
yeah, the trophy AI,
trophy
you
AI.
know, one of those guys, if I could have them working in GT7, that'd be great. But you just lose that information specifically about like what's going on all around you. So it's
Right.
like you kind of sacrifice immersion for data to become
But
faster.
again, it's like, it's put it this way. You're doing this, and I'm just gonna assume here, right? I don't want
Mhm,
to speak for you, but I think that because you're on iRacing now and you're actually competing with us every week,
mhm.
you're you're finding the tools useful. You're finding them
Yeah,
that they actually help, and they don't, it's not a flex thing. We have these rigs and we have all this shit on there, but it's not it's those are tools that we're actually using. Those buttons that mean something, they work. you know
yep.
and when we change something, you definitely feel it in the car. So,
Yeah,
but then you have the option to jump back into GT7 and
yeah,
drive a Mazda or something,
yeah.
and
For
strap in and kind of immerse yourself in that VR world, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's nice
yeah,
to have. I mean,
yeah, for road cars and quick races. Like I said, last night when I hopped on to try out
the
the new
update.
changes, yeah, that was kind of a refresher. It's like, oh, I hopped in, the next race is in 10 minutes. Okay, let me do a couple of little practice laps and I'm racing. Like there's no, you know, there's nothing to it. It's really kind of plug and play,
Yes,
which was nice.
which is what they wanted, because
Yeah, and that's their
the
target audience
the
too,
game
you
is
know?
designed to be picked up with a remote controller and go. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
there's
and
not much prep. You know,
they actually made some, changes, some updates to the controllers too, so they made, if you're using the steering wheel, they made changes to the steering geometry, and they
okay.
also made updates to the steering if you're using controllers, so, like, how the algorithm
So
for the analogs work and stuff like that, so
that,
they're still working on it.
that's what I'm saying. My take is, you bought a game that cost $60 and you're getting all this support years later, which is
Yeah.
great.
That's super cool.
It's not like EA that they say, well, this one's messed up. They'll just drop another one and don't
Yeah.
change anything. Just add the wallpaper, you know, a
Yeah,
new wallpaper, a new schematic, no mouse support, zero. But
that's
we have a
crazy.
new game.
Smack the lipstick on the
Uh,
pig and call it a day.
Yeah,
WRC, EA WRC just dropped DLC 2 days ago. And that's another game. It's EA, but they're finally learning their lesson on release a title, support it. Release a title,
yeah,
support it. If you want to charge for DLC, fine. But
yeah,
don't make me buy a whole nother game, a whole another game just
yeah,
to have the latest and greatest or whatever. I like games that we can go to and they improve over time, or my
yeah.
opinion. And people will buy the DLC. If you have active players, they'll buy the DLC.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And to me that's a better business model because you're not trying to figure out how to convince people to spend another $60. You can just come out with the base game. Of course you got to deal with performance issues and bugs and stuff like that. But once you get that to a certain
Hmm.
point, you're not having to recreate the wheel every time. Right.
Right.
You can focus on coming out with meaningful content and people will pay for it if it's worth it.
Right.
But
And when
I
there's a
agree.
generation jump in hardware, then you release a new game, because that's the thing with consoles. Consoles are limited to their generation. So
Yeah.
if you want the better games, you need to upgrade to the newer console. That's the
Yeah.
difference. And then the games that you can't upgrade your console, you have to buy a whole new system, right?
Yeah.
And the changes are, they're slower than the PC side, but there's some pretty nice titles out there for you to enjoy. So, I
Yeah.
mean, but yeah, so those are pretty good. I'm gonna try those even on controller. I still pop in there
Mm.
to see what's
Yeah.
new and stuff. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, maybe worth a glance, I guess.
yeah, I might wait for a sale and pick up a headset, and
Yeah, they're
just
out
to,
there, man,
yeah, I
for
know.
sure.
You know me, I'm going to that Tokyo highway with my RX-7,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
and,
yeah. I
and
love
bang
when
out
they had
some.
those races.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you only had still had a headset, huh?
that's it. All
Yeah.
right, man. So,
Yeah.
Jeff, I think you're up next. Thank you, Eric, for the update on GT7.
Yes, sir.
It's out now, so go ahead and download the update.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so for my portion, I just wanted so I was in my rig the other day, earlier this week, and I was kinda, like, stuck between, races. You kinda get to that window, you're like, "Oh, it's not, like, close enough where I can get in and rip a couple laps, but it's not long enough that, get out and do something else," and I was like, "You know what? We've had a lot of comments on videos about racing oval tracks in the oval series is that they have. I don't know what made me do it, but I was like, let me see what I can get into, with basically a rookie license in oval. So I jumped in there, and turns out this week I did one, two, three, four races or practice on the oval, and what an experience! I got
Really?
over here, which was
Oval, huh?
incredible.
It is. It's
Okay.
intense.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
tried it.
That's probably the correct word for it, but let me paint the picture of here how my experience for the week went.
All right, all right.
All right, so over here, which was incredible, like just totally different than kind of the Formula experience I got, and then over here was like, what are we doing? Like, this is the wild, wild west out here.
That's the
So
way
let
it
me start.
looks.
I'll give you a quick rundown of where I started in kind of the last couple. So I
Mhm,
drove these are the rookie ones that you need to start on are street stock,
mhm.
and then the mini stock. So take a guess on how long these tracks are that you're driving these rookie ovals on.
About 25 seconds a lap, maybe.
Bro, point 0.3 miles, 15 to 16 seconds a
Yeah,
lap.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's just a
that's
giant
crazy.
circle, man.
Bro, I was getting dizzy.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you. I'm like, "Oh, bro, like, this," and it's chaos. It's chaos out there driving around because everybody's, basically it's the rookie, right? So they're just out there trying to figure out
Figure
what's
it
going
out.
on,
Yeah.
just like you are. I'm not saying I was any good by any stretch of the imagination, but it's kind of cool. Like, you find different lines, you just trying to stay out of trouble. So that's one side of the spectrum, like the wild, wild west. Then
Mhm.
I drove the W12 Dash, which is very IndyCar looking isk for those people that don't know. I didn't know.
I,
On Phoenix, that is a mile long track. It's much more of your traditional
is that the one I was
IndyCar.
talking about? Maybe the one that looks like a damn Chevy Nova or something like that.
Which one? The W12 Dash?
I think so.
No, I mean, it looks like a IndyCar. It's very IndyCar, open wheel. There's no halo. Um, it's downforce, and that's when I
Mm.
was like, and there wasn't. So the crummy part about that's an awesome car and an awesome track, but I've done it 2 times now, and there's not a lot of people in that race or in those
Mm.
Oh,
practices. So there's like
I can see
3
that.
people, which kind of sucks. But let
Yeah.
me tell you, when you are wheel to wheel, you're wheel to wheel with them for the whole race or the whole
Mm.
practice. It just is like, it's not like Formula where you get your pass and you pull away. It's just very, I found it to be a lot more wheel to wheel
definitely.
racing for longer than in your Formula traditional classes. Maybe that's because of I don't know if drifting makes a difference in those Indy cars. Um, but gentlemen, it was, dare I say, I had more fun than I thought I was going to have driving ovals. And then I did last night, I did the NASCAR pickup series,
Yo, the
um,
Oh, that
pickups are
sounds
dope,
fun.
man.
at Daytona.
They're light.
Bro, so
They're
let me
so light, bro. Be
so this is
careful.
like not that those cars are like nothing I've ever done before. Because 'Cause you're driving, and all of a sudden, like, you're going down a straightaway or in a turn, and you're, like, driving at, like, a 45, right? And the car's straight, nothing happens, and you just start moving up and around
Yeah.
crossing lanes and stuff, dude. It's like, um,
And they sound good too, those
yeah, so I
pickups.
did a race on that one, which is cool. Like, I was running laps, practicing, and you're, like, door to door, everything. Like, super close, tight racing. So
Mm.
here's a funny story. So we're on we're on the starting grid, waiting for everybody to grid up, and then you do
Mhm.
like two practice. You do like a half a lap, and then the pit car comes in, and then you're racing, right? Like they do on
Mhm.
I don't know. And this is like when I knew, I was like, man, this is so stereotypical of NASCAR. One of the dudes is like, he goes hot mic with the radio on. It's like down in the corner, and he unmutes it, and
Bro.
everybody else jumps in and goes out in the streets. Dude,
Bro, I can't. I can't.
and
I
then
That's
would
somebody else
hilarious.
crash.
stops, and they
I would.
went for like 30 seconds, and I was like, this is NASCAR over racing. This is awesome. This makes me like I got the whole experience in one go.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome,
Oh,
man.
dude, I couldn't. My dad was over here watching, and he was like, "Is it like this all the time?" I'm like, "I have no idea, no idea." But so dude, that racing, and this is where I think the net code. I got one race right, so take it for what it's worth. Not a lot of experience. I think it was in practice where I was involved in an incident, and I was like, I don't think I hit him or he hit me. So we
Mhm.
watched it, and because you're so close bumper to bumper when you're drafting, that sometimes I think the net code, if you will, because we're watching it and there's no contact, and we both, kind of do the slide out, and you're doing donuts down the track for the whole straightaway, and we're like, okay, okay, maybe it got me, but let me tell you, a D class NASCAR at Daytona is survival of the fittest
Bro.
with the D class. I mean, it was. I
Trying not to
think there were
die.
like 28 cars that started, something like that. And it's only 10 laps. I think that there was like 7 cars on the lead lap. But the cool part is there's cars all over the place, and I didn't see it. I wasn't. I'll be honest. I was not on the lead lap, but I didn't see a blue flag at all. I don't know if they get them or not. So I'll come back and report when I get a little
Yeah,
bit more
oh,
experience.
interesting, huh? I don't think I've ever seen that either.
Because now that my brother used to be like decade or decade and a half ago, he was big into NASCAR, and I don't think they move out of the way for like if they're getting lapped or not.
They
Like,
do
because
bump draft you hard though in
right, but if the
NASCAR,
leader's behind you,
Mm.
it's
but
not
that's about
like
it.
Formula One where they're going to move out of the way. They get the blue flag and let him go past. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I,
You have
I
to fight him too.
yeah, because and by the way, I've learned like if you just graze the wall,
It's
boy, that
over.
screws up a whole lap
Yeah.
because it's all
Yeah.
it's all momentum, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you lose a crap ton of time. And to
yeah,
make
because
that
your
up, it's almost
RPMs die
impossible.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is absolutely just
Different.
avoid crashes.
Very
Eh,
different.
yeah, so I'm gonna keep digging. I'm still gonna race my formula, but I'm gonna work out of my rookie. After I ran a couple of them, I was like, why am I not, making any headway? And I realized that they were what are they, unranked races. So I was
Mhm.
like, oh crap, I got to get do the rookie ones with their the ranked races, and back to demolition derby on the point three.
Lap.
The point 0.3 mile tracks and stuff. But it was fun. It was just different, right? Because I normally I'm just used to one little bar in my little screen as the halo. But
Mhm.
it was odd to get back in, and there's the whole car, the dash, the roll cage, the
Yeah.
netting, and I was like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
like
What you
I
need is what wheel did you use?
so, and there, these are kind of some of the notes I took down. Is it is hard. So I definitely need to the Indy car. I can get away with my soul pack because it's very it's same right. But you get into the NASCAR and it definitely loses the
You
immersion
need a
when I have
round.
the soul pack. I need to get around.
Mhm.
Also, I do so I when I sold my shifter when I sold all my Fanatec stuff. So I need to get I need to
Sequential.
get a shifter again and put it in there if I'm gonna because it just takes a little bit away when you're driving NASCAR or stock car or one of them and you're paddle shifting.
At least the
So
sequential, because I know
yeah,
the
Mhm.
next gen used to be 5 speed or 6 speed for a long time, and they
Mhm.
finally went to the sequential. That's what I've read online. Just
So, well, yeah, so the NASCARs are four gears and they're
oh, they're four.
long.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
Mm.
long.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
It makes sense, to have that long drive.
Yeah.
To get
And
all the
IndyCar
power.
was interesting too, where like you're bouncing, riding that rev limiter the whole race, but switching gears and just they're
Uh,
super tight.
Hmm.
Um,
Keep us
It was fun,
posted,
guys.
bro.
I'll
Shout out to
keep you
me.
posted. But don't be afraid to jump in there and give it a go. I like I want to get more into the indie. I wish there are more people. It's much. There's a lot more races when you get a C and DB license. So there's
Oh yeah.
probably a reason for that, I'd imagine. But
Yeah.
Yeah, those yeah, that makes
so,
sense. That's cool
um,
though, man. It looks chaotic, but also fun.
Well, yeah,
it,
and this adds to the value, right, of our subscription. I have to mention it because a lot of people say that iRacing is expensive, but look at it
Mhm.
like this: you got F Formula Sim, and then GT Sim, and now Indy, all in one
Yeah.
package. So
yeah, I mean,
theoretically speaking, you can have one sim, and it could be iRacing. And
yeah,
now
I am finding that I am probably going to have to purchase probably maybe two more cars, a stock car and a Indy, some type of Indy
that's the
that'll
best
get
thing,
me
bro.
going.
That's like the most exciting thing when you have to buy a car and you got to do research and
Yeah, so
choose your weapon. You know.
it's fun. Like honestly, like it was chaos at first, but then it was fun. Like those short tracks, like you can't stay on the racing line, but B, you're dodging cars, so you're fine. Sometimes going the long way around the corner is the fastest way.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta do what you got to do, man.
Got to do what you got to
Yeah.
do.
Hey,
So
so Jeff, I guess, yeah, I if you could, man, try to move up the ranks and let me know what it's like, man.
Yeah.
Let us know, let the show know, let everybody know how you feel, because I know there's a bunch. Oval is a big thing in iRacing. It is a big part of it, like a massive part of it. Probably the majority of players, I think, are on oval now, or half, at least half of them
yeah,
are
and I think that's the
NASCAR.
NASCAR,
Mm.
fans and supporters.
Yeah, because the NASCAR game is trash, and
Yes.
there's no other NASCAR anything other than
S-
iRacing.
so
Yeah, you're
here's
right
one more
about that.
thing, right? So
There go EA again. I swear, I don't know.
So in the race last night, we're gridding up right in the truck series for the NASCAR. If I'm butchering the series name, I apologize, but it was the truck series that is kind of associated with NASCAR. The car in front of me, in the back of it, is farmersonly.com.
Oh my
You
god!
know, it's like,
See, that's where you find them. That's where you find them. But anyways, guys, I would love to
No man.
continue, but we have a very special segment for it's that time of the week,
let's
track
go.
Yes.
of the week, and there was no hint to what it was, and I still don't know. So
Mm.
Eric Kelly has the honor and pleasure, and there he is. He's warming up. You can't see
Oh,
him right now, but
Yeah.
he's he's
Let me get
loosening
it
up the
going.
muscles.
Yeah,
So I'm
man.
gonna go ahead and pass it over to you, brother. Let us know what's going on this week for
send
track
it.
of the week.
So this week, we got a little track. You might have heard of it. It's called the Nürburgring. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
the
So
green hell, huh?
the Green Hill and the history. I don't know what
Oh,
is
I can imagine.
probably more prolific about this track, the racing or just the stories. So I'm going to try to cover a good bit of both here, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Strap in, fellas. This is gonna be a ride right here.
Yeah. So I'm going to start out with kind of the just like the facts, some of the just interesting, information. So the Nurburgring
Oh my god.
was
Dang.
Look at this thing.
basically
You can't even
the
see the
idea to
names.
come up with the Nurburgring started in 1925, and it took them 2 years and 14 million marks. That's German currency to build the
Okay.
track. So for a translation, that is 7,465. No, I'm sorry. That is, yeah, $7,465 basically. That was in 1925.
That's a shit ton of
Adjusted
money.
for inflation, that is $129 million that they spent to build this track.
Oh my
That
god.
is
Jeez.
the Green Hill. Up to
That's why it's called the Green
2,500.
Hell.
Yeah, look. So up at one point there were up to 2,500 workers working to build this track. Like I said, it took 2 years. It is 28 kilometers or 17 miles long, and this track
Jeez.
has obviously some of everything in it. You know, beautiful views. It has long straights. It has tight turns, chicanes, slow corners, fast corners, but also it has a freaking castle in the middle of the North Loop.
No
Like
way.
there's some of everything there. It's called Nürburgring Castle that's
Of course it
located
is.
in the North Loop of the
Road
track.
trip or
Road
flight.
trip.
So it so and just some of the interesting things about the track, it's like I say, it's there for racing, but also it has become just a place for entertainment. So there are concerts there. People even get married at the Nürburgring. Like
Jeff would
it
be the
is
one to propose
literally
at the Nürburgring.
oh
I'm
look.
cool. Check.
In the middle of the chicane.
Look, yeah, the Nurburgring, man, it is just such a just in Germany and really to the sport of racing. It is such a iconic track, and really, I think deserves the kind of the well agreed upon title of one of the greatest tracks in the world. But there's some upsides and downsides. So we'll kind of go through some of the technical history. So, like I said, 1927, they started racing, and the first race there was actually a motorbike race. Took place on June 18th, and on the 19th was the first sports car race. The first winner of the motorbike race was a man by the name of Tony Ullman, and the first sports car winner was Rudolf Carcolia, and he happened to be driving a model Mercedes Benz Model S. The next kind of milestone for them, and I'll go over to this guy here because the track pretty much stayed the same until some major events. You guys might be familiar with them. Uh,
Hmm.
Might have heard of
in
them.
Yeah, so in 1934, there's a kind of a story, right? There's several stories with the Nürburgring. There's a story. In 1934, it says that the W25 Grand Prix racing car was still painted in white German racing colors the day before the big Eiffel Rennen race. This made it 1 kilogram too heavy. So the mechanics worked overnight.
Wha-
They scraped all the paint off, and back then, paint was had lead and all kind of stuff in it, and
Forgot about that.
they and they got it down under the 750 kilogram limit the next day, and he ended up winning the race in a shiny silver Mercedes, and
Mm.
The
apparently
silver
that's where
arrows.
that started.
Iconic silver.
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. So that was 1934. But in 1940, because of World War II, they had no racing from 1940 to 1946. And it took them a minute to kind of get back into things after the war. They had a couple little kind of offshoot races, but one of these, you know, little cars decided to have a race there. The first Formula race took place on the Nürburgring in 1951 on July 29th, and the winner of that race was Alberto Ascari, and this was the Grand Prix of Germany, and he won in a Ferrari. So,
Oh,
Ooh.
you know,
oh, oh.
yeah, yeah, I know
The
that hurt a little bit.
disrespect,
That
bro.
disrespect is right.
So, another
He left
race.
right after that race.
He
You
was
know that,
gone.
right? He got escorted out, bro.
Pack the shit up. We're out of here.
Hey,
Yeah.
we gotta go.
So that was the beginning of the end for him, huh? But in let me find my place here. So yeah, so 1951, the first Formula race took place. And then 1953, they established the World Sports Car Championship, and this was the first 1,000 kilometer race. And this took place, like I said, 1953 on August 30th. So that's one of the kind of signature races for the Nürburgring that takes place there. They have several other ones, but in 1953, that was kind of the beginning of one that still goes on to this day. So in 1954, they actually, Mercedes Benz is showing out. This is when they entered into Formula One, and they entered into Formula One at the Nürburgring in the W196, and there were about 400,000 people watching there. The driver then
Damn.
was Juan Manuel Fangio,
It's called
and
revenge, bro.
he won both the Grand Prix at the Nürburgring and the Drivers' Championship that year. So he
Yeah, he
Damn.
murdered
did.
them, murdered them that year. So I'm gonna go to my history here, and 1968 was a special year. And the reason why this year was special is because up until now it had been known as, the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Well, a guy by a well, not just a guy, but a racer by the name of Jackie Stewart was getting ready for a race, and he told his fellow driver Graham Hill they were looking at the Nürburgring from the plane on their way to the Grand Prix of Germany, and he said it's going to be the green hell this weekend because it was
Mhm.
raining, it was foggy. It's just going to be a rough, terrible race, and that is where the green hell came from in
Wow.
1968 from Jackie Stewart. And obviously, to this day, the Nordschleife still has that moniker, and it is well earned and well deserved.
It's a treacherous tack, man.
It
It can
is.
be.
Look, I've never been so bad at something that I love so much. I I can't explain it.
I
It really
appreciate the
makes you.
honesty here, Eric.
Oh, look, hey, what do we say? Straight no chaser.
Straight no
Yeah.
chaser. That's
I am terrible
Hey, I
at
we
have a
need to put that
question.
promotion,
on the merch,
but
bro. Straight no chaser.
hey, look.
I got a question here since we're being on you talking about our driving on this track.
Mhm.
Do you guys memorize this track? Or do
I
people in general memorize this track?
I
Or do
have.
they you do?
I have.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
learned it the hard way. Just drive it. Just drive it.
yeah, yep.
You
I'm at
get a
that point
feel.
now. Yeah.
So, eh, sorry to steal your thunder, Eric. Just hear me out. This
No,
is
no,
how
you
I
got it.
feel. The Nürburgring does not let you rest. There is no
Yeah,
rest up until the last straightaway, which lasts forever.
But then you're
yep,
going so fast you ain't resting.
Yeah,
exactly. You can
but
die still.
if you're in the Nurburg, if you're taking a left, you have a right. If you're taking a right, you have a. It's constant, constant.
Yeah,
It doesn't stop. It's like doing this, but in a longer fashion. You know what I mean? In a cleaner fashion. So you kind of learn a hill. You're like, oh, okay, this hill. I got to
yeah.
go way off here and come into here, and that's how you learn it. I don't know the turn names. Hell no, I'll be lying to you.
Oh, yeah, look,
But
I mean, there's so many.
but
But
I
It's
can drive the
okay.
Nurburg and be comfortable and know where the breaking points are. Yes,
yeah, yeah, for me, I definitely concur. Just drive it.
you learn
But
little
the thing that
markers. Yeah.
you learn markers, but it's it's so different. Like most tracks will have a couple of things, right? They might have like, okay, you gotta remember you got this hairpin in this track, or you got this elevation change in this track.
S's. Yeah.
You might have an S, you might have a chicane or two. You might this thing has everything. Like you are going up hills, you're going down hills, you're doing chicanes, you're doing long sloping banking turns, you're doing hairpins, you're doing I mean, it's some of literally every kind of turn
Yeah.
probably exists on this track.
Yep.
Like it and not even just flat, but okay, you got a banking hairpin, you have an uphill, sloping turn, you have a sharp turn after a long straight or a high speed turn. I mean, I don't know what miserable person came up with the design for this track. I don't know if the
Yeah.
fact that
Bro,
they literally built it in the side of a mountain has anything to do with it. They were literally just like, these are the only routes we can take around
How do
here,
you
so
how
we're
do you
just
keep
gonna.
this track clean? Like I'm telling you, in a
Oh,
in a mid race. Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
let
oh,
Eric.
sorry, man.
Yeah, let's
yeah,
keep it moving on the
yeah. We're
track
gonna
though.
we're
My
gonna
bad.
get to that, man. Yeah,
Okay.
but I guess keep going. Where there ups. No, we still got one more up. So in 1970, right? So we just found out this is called the Green Hell in 1968. In 1970, they started another iconic race, and it is the 24-hour at Nürburgring, and that was when the first one took place. And you have a guy by the name of Stritzel Stuck and Clemens, mm, Schickentatz, and a BMW. They work together to win the first Nürburgring 24 hour, which,
Two dudes.
yeah, two guys is crazy.
So a
And
12-hour shift, basically.
yeah, I don't know if they did 12 hour or 6 and 6, or how they managed to,
Probably. Yeah.
yeah, to make it up. But yeah, it's still, that race still goes on to this day, and they say they have an average of about 200,000 people that come and spectate that race.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah, it's still
It's a
very
stadium
popular,
size of people, bro.
I
bro.
mean,
It's
it does
the
cover, a
Yeah, the
hundred
track is
something
so
acres.
huge.
Probably more than
It,
that, bro.
yeah, and it's kind of almost like a resort there. So they definitely have the facilities to support that. Um, but like I was saying before, or I was alluding to, you have ups and you have some downs. So in 1976, the last F1 race on the Nordschleife took place. Up until then, there have been a lot of tragic accidents, people dying, people coming close to death. One of the most notable ones was Niki Lauda.
Niki Lauda.
Um,
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, he had a terrible accident between he was at the Bergwerk turn, had a crazy accident, car caught on fire and slid and all this stuff. Luckily he survived, but after that they pretty much nixed the F1 on the Nordschleife. He was in a Ferrari, for anybody that didn't know
And
as
he didn't
well.
want to race. He was telling the FIA not to do
Mhm.
the race because of the rain. It was too dangerous.
Yeah.
And all the drivers back then, they voted, and basically they voted against it. Like they voted for the race to continue. And that's
Mm.
when the accident happened. You can
Okay.
watch a movie called Rush.
That's it. Yep. I was
Oh,
just
Rush,
okay.
thinking about it.
if you haven't seen that, Eric or anybody, I highly recommend this movie. And
I have to
it's
watch that.
about Niki Lauda's story, and they cover this accident at the Nürburgring. It's a really great
Wow.
movie. So
Yeah, you have to watch it because that just the crash. We got some
yeah,
more details here. They say he like hit a rock face on the right side of the road, caught fire, skidded across the track, and
yep,
then he was hit by like three other cars.
yeah, they
Yep, it
kept
was
hitting him,
crazy.
and the track is so big that how are you gonna get him out in time? You know what I mean? That was my thing. Like,
Yeah, is
how
how
you
you gonna get
cover
to
this much?
him? Like, yeah, without a helicopter or something like that. Um, but where there's rain, is always some sunshine afterwards. So in 1984, we had the debut of the GP track. All right.
Okay,
So they started building this track in 1981. They wanted a track that, obviously was safer and, not as treacherous and shorter. And so after 3 years, they had their first debut race on the GP track, which was the European Grand Prix. And this was won by Alain Prost in a McLaren.
nice.
So, yeah. So F1 is back
So
at
the British
the
took it then.
Shout out Daniel Newman.
Danny Newman.
yeah. So since then, there have been some upgrades to the track, and they have a bunch of different track layouts with they have the Nürburgring Nordschleife, the Nordschleife Plus, the GP track. They have a circuit layout and a couple other layouts as well. And I'm sorry, should be updating you guys on the visuals here.
Oh, so
But
that's the GP track?
so this is the GP
Oh,
track here.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. And so if you're looking at
Can't stand
the
that track.
Nordschleife, you have the green hill, and then down here in gray, they have the GP track, but you can see
What
them added if I
combined,
just
because you
show
can
you.
race them combined, and that
Yep.
combined,
Yeah,
bro,
it's crazy.
it makes them way longer.
It's a long
Yep.
track.
Yep. And like I say, they added some other different configurations, but essentially they're all using just either the Nordschleife or the GP track kind of layout.
Look at all of those, man.
Gee, good night.
Yeah. So this, I mean, the amount of just mileage they get out of this track is crazy. I mean, now they have so many different configurations of tracks. It's
It's beautiful. I love
Imagine
it.
imagine going there as a spectator and seeing him come by and be like, "Well, might as well go to the bathroom, go get some
Bro,
food,"
I was thinking
you
about
know,
that just
and then come
now.
back and they're like, "Yum, yum, 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 yum.
I'm like,
All
all right,
right."
Jeff, we got about 10
yeah.
minutes before the next car comes around.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, you need a
Some
stopwatch or
people camp
something.
out there. I heard stories like that. Some people
Oh,
camp there.
oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so in what did they do? So in 2001, they actually upgraded like all the start finish houses, the pit buildings, and they put in just a long stretch of just lounges and conference rooms and
Nice.
suites and all that stuff, making it just really friendly to people that are coming to visit and watch the games and making it very comfortable.
We
And
need to
so,
take a road trip, fellas, and jump over there and stay in the castle, you know?
that
Stay in the
sounds like
castle.
something to do, man. It really does. And so, Jason, I think this next little tidbit will be something near and dear to your heart. Let me share my other little
Oh, let's see.
yeah deal here. Uh, boom. So 2006 had a
Michael
guy by the name of
Schumacher.
Michael Schumacher celebrated his last victory at the Nürburgring at the Grand Prix of Europe in 2006.
Wow.
Yep. So this is the last place that he won,
I didn't
and
know this. Wow.
to commemorate him and honor him in 2007, they actually renamed one of the chicanes, and they named it Michael Schumacher S.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Dang.
he's got a
He's
turn
got
named after
history
him.
written on the freaking road forever. Wow.
Mm, Yep.
That's
And
crazy, bro. That's crazy.
yep. And there was a couple of other just kind of cool facts. Where is it at? Yeah, so the first game to feature Nürburgring, so we always try to find this and bring it back to sim or racing. The first game it was featured in was in 1976, and
Whoa.
the name of the game was Nürburgring.
76?
That
what
was it. It
what
was
was
a
the
very
platform on? What was that? Atari? What is that?
I don't know.
Chalk in the sidewalk?
It was a very simple game. Probably some blocks
You think?
around a shaped like the Nurburgring or whatever they call the
You playing
Nurburgring.
Snake
But
on a Nokia phone? Nürburgring?
hey, Nurburgring, that definitely could have cut the mustard back then. But I was
That's
shy.
cool though.
That is
Yeah,
dope as
I looked
hell.
that up about 3 or 4 different times. I was like, let me try, Bing. Let me try Google. Let me try something else. Like this can't be right. And everything came back like it's a very simple game called Nurburgring in 1976. So
Wow.
you know, and right now also something else we might be interested in. This will be my last little nugget on the Nurburgring. Right now, the fastest lap completed on the Nurburgring Nordschleife was in 5 minutes and 19 seconds, and it was set by
What?
Timo Bernhard in a Porsche 919 Hybrid Evo, and this was in uh, 2018.
Damn, bro.
Wow.
So he was moving,
Bro, for you to cover almost 18 miles in 5 minutes is
moving,
insane, bro.
and this ain't a straight line. This is
No. Oh my God,
every
bro.
every every way but straight.
Yeah, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, look, shoot.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah,
Eric, I just wanted to thank you so much.
Yeah,
We
great
got
job,
we
dude.
gotta, yeah, dude. We gotta give these tracks the honor and glory that they deserve. That's how come we took time here. So thank you very much for respecting the track. Essentially, this is a track that's a legend. It's a legendary track. A
yeah,
lot of bad things happen, but a lot of good things happen too there.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
check
man.
out the movie Rush.
Yep.
You can see the Nordschleife back in the 70s, I believe, or 60s, with Niki Lauda. It's a movie I
Mm.
recommend for any sim racer or F1 enthusiast. I think
I
I
don't even think you really need to be into racing. It's just it's a
good story.
story, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Good acting. It's got the guy from Thor. Forget his name. His name that's James Hunt, which is a
Oh, okay.
legendary
Yeah, yeah.
driver. So you can. It sometimes is on Netflix, sometimes on Amazon Prime, but I'm sure you can find it if you know what I mean. So,
Okay.
um,
Yeah, I'll watch that for sure.
yeah, I'll leave links to the trailer so that motivates you to watch. But thank you so
All
much,
right.
Eric, for covering North's life. That's kind of that's like one of my top 5 tracks. Suzuka's number
Okay.
one, but
Oh yeah.
Nürburgring is definitely in that top five. So,
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites now too, for real.
all right. So that covers track of the week. And we're down to our final round table here. I don't really have anything to cover. I think this was a great episode. It's good to come back here. We've had a great start of the 2025. This is our 40th episode, 600 subscribers on the YouTube channel. On the metrics on the audio side are still good and improving. So thank you so much for your support. If
Yes.
you want to support us, it's free. Just subscribe and like. And merch, I'm still don't have a date. I'm still working on getting that together and presenting out a prototype. And then I have a alpha, I guess, an alpha version, but I want to add all the funny things that we say here. Our slogan, which is
Oh
straight
yeah.
no chaser, and Jeff's finest is uh um
Drive
what
fast and break late.
drive fast and break
Yeah,
late.
yeah.
It's
Gotta
gonna
get
have
that
his
on the shirt.
signature underneath. I have a lot of ideas for him, and I hear that Jeff is starting up a YouTube channel, and we'll give the details out when that's ready, with his
Nothing to
permission.
do with sim racing.
No,
Some
Mm.
of my other passions will be involved.
but yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
we
Gotta
live in
support.
Hawaii, so it'll be kind of cool to see a different side of content. Um, and Yeah, just a way to connect with him. Another way to connect with Jeff. Also, the Tech Gent has his, of course, he has the Tech Gentleman, which I just called them Tech Gent, um, channel, which is a great, you know, phone device, electronics, tech channel. And I know he's in the works with his sim racing channel and streaming and stuff like that. So,
Yes, sir.
um,
It's coming.
yeah, I want this to be a community. If you're a fan of either, or if you're a fan of the show, let's show them some love too. So it's not
I
just
appreciate it.
TGSR. So, anybody got anything to say? Round table. I'll start with Eric. That was my round table. Is just happy, happy,
No,
snappy.
man. Nah, great episode, man. Like I said, the track of the week, I always like learning about the tracks, and that's one of the big ones, most historical tracks. And just, great stories, and I don't know,
It's
it
the
was
highlight
fun.
for me, bro, because
Yeah.
all three of us know what we're going to talk about, but we don't really reveal details about track of the week to each other,
I think it's
Yeah.
super
and
cool.
we all learn together. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
Yep.
interesting hearing about the tracks, especially the ones that are in Europe, of how they like evolve around like the history that's like the
the
world war,
war.
the two wars. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it gives you a sense of appreciation when you actually drive it in the sim, or if you watch it on TV.
Hmm.
You you have some foundation about what's this thing about, and that's how
Yeah.
this falls into the show. And I think everybody. I haven't seen a single dislike or anything about track of the week. So, um,
Yeah.
of course, it can be better with video, but I'm trying to keep us out of the copyright eye,
Yeah.
and try to just have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
But uh, but yeah, so over to Jeff for his roundtable.
All I got is an update. We are looking at 26 days till practice for F1
But
for the
why would you
25
do?
season. Just
See,
remind,
now I gotta
hey,
wait 26 days.
you
I didn't
really
want to
want
know the dates.
really here's the kick in the
No
Jimmy is it's
spoiler.
44 days to Australia.
Oh my
Week
god.
one, 44 days.
Why would you do this, Jeff?
This is like, I feel like I'm that, was it the Pablo Escobar meme? On the swing in the pool,
Yeah.
waiting till F1 comes by.
For real, man.
Uh,
So yeah, I
anyways,
can't wait. I heard that Lewis Hamilton lost control of the car this
a
weekend.
what? What happened?
Oh yes, he did. You
Oh,
might
I
want
heard.
to.
I heard it. Of course, I heard it. I just wanted to hear you say it.
Yeah,
I
Louis
just wanted to hear it
Hamilton.
again. That the Ferrari went into the wall.
It's a Ferrari's fault, bro.
Yeah,
It's
Charles
Ferrari's
Leclerc
fault.
couldn't even get his practice session in. Oh, what a shame.
It's not looking good. Let's just say that. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much again. Oh, and Jeff, please. That last.
Here we go. Yeah. Officially, drive fast, brake late, people.
Okay, there you go. See,
we love you. We'll see you next week.
I can't end the show without the
Sorry,
without the slogan. It's a slogan that applies to everything. But anyways, guys, always appreciate everyone. We're 40 episodes in. We're reaching for that 50 marker. And this is just hours of entertainment and hours of information that we all share with the community together. So check out the GRL. We're still racing on there twice a week. Eric jumps in whenever he can, and that's fine. We got Mike from the Sim Racing Den racing twice a week with us now. So if you're looking to race with the Chicane Podcast or with your favorite content creator, Michael Pagliaro, it's your chance to be door to door with him. And check out my live streams if you want to see the replays. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And with that, have a great start of your week. Thank you.